Joining me today is Kerry Rochford Hague, who is the Community Educator at Turning Points Network. So Kerry, we were talking about the challenges and that we think, we're in a safe community, but it crosses every demographic, every geographic boundary you can imagine. And that's really got me to think about the role of the internet. This is something that 20, 25, 30 years ago, maybe there were phones, but there weren't cell phones, there weren't video pictures coming in the cell, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't the social networks, there weren't ways to chat out and then have that disappear. How has that changed the conversations you're having with preventative conversations with kids? How is that changing the work you do with the people who are in domestic abuse situations?
That's a great question. Maybe we could start first by looking at the folks that we're working with who come in for services. One of the things that we need to talk with folks about in safety planning is thinking about how technology could be used against them. And that could be anything from, GPS and people being tracked who are trying to leave abusive
I never
situations.
thought about it. If you're trying to hide and your cell phone's on a tracker, then you're not really, find my phone, I found you.
Absolutely. And it's a real issue for survivors that now they're having to think about that, like you said, even 5-10 years ago, there were not the same capabilities with technology that there are now. So kind of helping people think about how to be safe with the technology that they're using is a part of the safety planning that we do with survivors. With students in the schools, it's very complicated. I mean, there are so many positive things about technology, and we all know there are so many things that are not positive. When we talk with students about internet safety, about not giving out personal information, not putting pictures out on the internet, because they need to be reminded that anybody can be anybody on the internet. So they're playing a game or they're in a chat room and they think they're talking with another 12-year-old from Concord, and it could be a 45-year-old man from Florida. And so how to be safe when they're using technology is something that's really important for students, and recognizing that the choices that they make with their technology today stay with them. So if they put a picture up that's not really an appropriate picture, or they have someone ask them for a not appropriate picture, and they put that out there, colleges, universities, employers, they're looking to see who are these people that are applying to come to our school, or who are we potentially looking to hire. And if they Google you, what are they going to find out about you? So we're talking with students about thinking about not just for right now, but also in the future. And the cyberbullying issue is huge. I mean, you ask any student in any school, and they're going to talk to you about things that they've heard and seen on the internet that have been really hurtful and devastating for students. What used to be a rumor that would take several days to get around to school, it's lightning speed.
And those several days, you could have, somebody could say, no, this didn't happen, and interdict. But now,
right,
as you said, it's instantaneous.
It is. And we've all heard that just really sad stories about teens who have been just really bullied in person, online, and what this does, the depression that this can cause for teens, the suicide rates that we know are really increasing with youth because of this issue of cyberbullying. So it's something that parents and educators are really trying to figure out, how do we talk to students about this? We don't want to just sound like we're saying, don't do this, don't use your technology.
Well, because they're going to use the technology no matter what.
Right. And a lot of it, like for us in our programming, it's really empowering the bystanders. It's helping kids who are aware of something that's happening that's not respectful know what to say or do to respond to that.
So it's like creating a community, a support community to say, wait a second, this isn't, I shouldn't have gotten this.
Yep, and this crossed the line. We do an activity with students called Crossing the Line, where we figure out where's that point where it's okay, and where's the point where it starts to not be okay, and how can the bystanders step in.
And it's got to be a complicated policy issue too, because privacy on one side, can schools go in and snoop, but versus the need to be able to have access to this information to stop something.
Absolutely, and students are sometimes surprised when we talk about that, you like Snapchat, something comes up and then it's gone, but it's not really gone. And they don't realize that, I mean, there are police officers whose whole job it is to
finding that
investigate
stuff.
these kinds of, especially, they're very surprised to know that about child pornography laws, that if there is sexual content out, anyone under the age of 18 can be considered child pornography. These are serious charges.
So if somebody takes a picture, if somebody sends it, they're now distributing child pornography?
Right.
And they can be arrested. That's a pretty powerful message.
It really is, and the laws are trying to keep up with this. I mean, that's the other thing. This is new and happening and right now, and so I think the legal system is trying to wrestle with what do we do with this.
Well, we're out of time, but I'm glad you're out there working on this, educating children and working with the survivors.
Thank you.
Thank you.